I just got done watching the Nintendo E3 Direct from 2021, and I think Nintendo may have won E3. Not that is necessarily a difficult thing to do this year. There's been a lot of disappointments, but if I put this up against Microsoft's show, I do think that Nintendo just out-edged Microsoft on their Xbox show, but not by much. But I gotta say, I was pretty excited about the Nintendo show that we just saw, the Direct that we just saw, and I want to kind of talk about the highlights for me that I was very much impressed with. Now, it started out with the new Smash reveal, Kazuya from the Tekken series, a great pickup for the Smash Brothers franchise, and I gotta say, I'm always interested in how Sakurai-san picks these characters out of nowhere. No one seems to guess these characters, but getting a Tekken character in the game is awesome. Kazuya, it was pretty funny watching the trailer of him like throwing his opponents off the cliff. I thought that was hilarious. Obviously, that's not something that's going to be in the final game, but a lot of humor involved as well, and that was a really great start to the show. Now, there were a lot of games that got announced at the show, and I don't want to talk about all of them, but I definitely want to talk about the highlights for me. The first one was the Super Monkey Ball game got confirmed. Now, we knew that this was coming because there was some leaks that happened yesterday, but Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is out on October the 5th, and I gotta say, I love Super Monkey Ball, and seeing this game come out on the Switch, it's like the Switch was made for a Super Monkey Ball game, especially with its gyro controls and what have you. It's going to be awesome, an awesome experience on the Switch. I recommend you check it out. If you haven't played Super Monkey Ball before, this would be a great way to get started into that game. Now, another big reveal that came out of nowhere was Mario Party Superstars. And this one was a surprise because this one has 100 mini games across previous Mario Party games. And I gotta say, Mario Party is getting a lot of love in recent times with the multiplayer patch on the previous Switch game, and now the Superstars announcement coming out on October the 29th. A big announcement that really wasn't anything that I don't think any of us really had expected to see. We didn't really expect to see any more love for the Mario Party franchise on the Switch, at least not on this revision. So that was a very big announcement. Now, interestingly enough, they did talk about Metroid Prime 4, but then they pivoted towards a new Metroid 5, which is the 2D Metroid game that Nate and I have been talking about on the Nate the Hate show. You know, for quite some time now, there's been a rumored 2D Metroid in development, and we finally got a trailer and a look at this game, and I gotta say, it looks incredible. Now, the game is Metroid 5, but the official title is Metroid Dread, and this one looked absolutely incredible. Now, the new Metroid game, Metroid Dread, is out on October the 8th, and I am all about this game. I cannot wait to play it. I gotta say, you know, sometimes these 2D Metroid games kind of lose me a little bit because I'm more of an old school fan into pixel art, but this graphical style really kind of hooked me. And hey, look, it's Metroid. But one thing that was interesting about this, Nintendo mentioned on the Direct that it had been 17 years since the last 2D Metroid game, which is clearly incorrect if you consider Samus Return. So I'm not really sure what they said there. Maybe that was a typo or some error that kind of slipped through, but I was a little confused about that one. But in any case, Metroid Dread, October the 8th, for me, that was probably the highlight of this Direct, the biggest announcement for me, but there was more. And Cruising Blast was another game that I was very much interested in. I'm a big fan of the Cruising USA series that started out its life back on the Nintendo 64, originally from the arcades. Cruising Blast looks awesome. It's a Switch console exclusive coming out this fall, and it's a colorful, quirky arcade-style racer in that cruising world, you know, universe. I'm all about this, so I can't wait to get my hands on that one. Mario Golf Super Rush was a game that I wasn't really too interested in, but the more that I see of this game, the more excited I get about it, and there are future updates that are being planned for it, which is really cool to see. That's coming out in June. Now, a new WarioWare game was announced, and oh my god, I know that there was some talk about WarioWare in, you know, Nintendo was taking a survey of WarioWare interest, but here we are. This is the announcement of WarioWare Get It Together, which is coming out on September the 10th, and this includes 2 player modes as well. And look, if there's one system that really needs a WarioWare game, it's the Switch. I am so excited that WarioWare is coming back for the Nintendo Switch. really big announcement for me. Shin Megami Tensei 5 was also shown, and this one is not really something that I'm into, but I know there are a lot of fans of Shin Megami Tensei, and this one is finally coming out on November the 12th this year. So a lot of games coming out this year, and that's why I say that Nintendo really brought the goods and I think out-edged Microsoft, because, you know, the Xbox show is talking about games in 2022 and beyond. Nintendo really had a lot of stuff that they were showing that it's coming out later this year. Another huge announcement was Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water. Now, for those people that don't know, this game came out on the Wii U, but it was never physically released in the US or in North America. The only way you could get a physical copy was to import it from Japan. I'm really hyped that this game is coming out and more people are going to get the chance to play it, because Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water is probably one of the best Wii U games for that system, and a lot of people just either slept on it or don't even know about this game. It is a fantastic game, and very, very excited to see this coming out for the Switch. And we got more Doom Eternal DLC that is available today, the Ancient Gods. And look, Doom Eternal on the Switch continues to surprise me of just how good it looks and how good it runs on that handheld system. So great if you are a Doom Eternal fan. Now look, another announcement that just came out of nowhere was Advanced Wars 1 and 2. I've been wanting an Advance Wars game on the Switch since the day that system got released. And Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp is coming out on December the 3rd. Now, I've got to say, although I'm really hyped that Advance Wars is coming out, now I've got to be honest with you guys, although I'm a big Advance Wars fan, I'm not really big on the graphical style of this game. It just looks a little too toy-like for me. It's not really polished enough. I feel like the models could use some better texturing or something. But let me know what you think. I mean, that's just my opinion. Look, it's still Advance Wars, and if it plays the same way, if it has the same kind of code base underneath it, the engine that runs this game, then I'm going to be pretty happy to see this anyway. But really big on Advance Wars coming out. And look, of course, there were other things. We saw Mario vs. Rabbids. We knew that was coming out. Anyway, Ubisoft had talked about that, but it was great to see that in this particular Direct. And then the final segment was Zelda, and this was where things got a little surprising for me a number of different ways. They showed more of Skyward Sword, and they showed the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC, which we already had known about, but Anuma-san also was very quick to tell us that this was really the only Zelda stuff that had been worked on, including Breath of the Wild 2. There was some talk that we would see Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD in a collection, but that has pretty much been snuffed out by Anuma-san, because what was announced was the Zelda Game & Watch, which I gotta admit looks really awesome, and it's definitely something that I want to get my hands on. The only thing is though, when they showed Link's Awakening, and this is just me being really picky, when they showed Link's Awakening on that Game & Watch, it didn't retain the correct aspect ratio of the Game Boy, and it really kind of bothered me that the screen was stretched to 4:3. I know I'm being nitpicky, I'm still going to get it, but I wish Nintendo put some more care and attention into that, because that was like the first thing that I had noticed. But hey, the Game & Watch is a pretty cool announcement, and you know, for collectors and whatnot, it's available on November the 12th. And look, I'm going to get my hands on it because hey, it's a Game & Watch, it's Nintendo, and it's Zelda. Now, of course, the last announcement, the one more thing that we knew was coming, was Breath of the Wild 2. We saw new footage of the game and a announcement by Anuma-san that said we're actively working to get this game ready for 2022. And there's probably a chance that we may not even see it next year, although it did say 2022 on the end, but there was no firm release date put on it other than next year. Now, there is talk that this game is coming out next year alongside the Switch Pro, and that could well be the case, but we did see more of Breath of the Wild 2, and I think that was something that we really needed to see at this Direct, and I was very happy to see that. But it also does show you how much COVID has really affected the industry. I mean, if you don't believe by now the amount of delays that have occurred during COVID, especially in Japan, I mean, this is really telling you that, you know, there is a lot of issues with software development right now. And look, Nintendo's working as hard as they can, but these delays are inevitable. A couple of things I do want to mention about this Direct that we didn't see. Bayonetta 3 was one that we didn't see at the show, and I know some people are going to be disappointed, especially after Babylon's Fall was such a disappointing trailer and reveal at the Square Enix show, a lot of people are probably questioning what is Platinum Games doing right now, especially with Kamiya really trolling people just before the Direct, showing a tweet image of 3 Bayonetta Pophead figures. And I mean, look, I don't really know what to say about Bayonetta 3. It's something that we may see this year, but we may not. I mean, it's definitely something that was quite interesting in its absence. There were some other surprises as well. I think the other one for me was there was a lot less Zelda than I had expected. But other than that, I was pretty happy with the show. I think Nintendo has won E3 purely because it brought some surprises with it. It has some interesting games. It has some familiar games that we expected to see. But the big thing is most of these games are coming out this year. And I think for me, that's probably the big thing that I'm going to take away from this particular Direct, that Nintendo really came with a lot of stuff that was releasing in the next 6 months. And Microsoft, even though they had a fantastic showcase at the Xbox plus Bethesda event, was really focusing on the future and games that are coming out in 2022 and beyond. But there are my thoughts on the E3 Nintendo Direct 2021. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say on this one. But as always, if you like this episode, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.